Why documentary?
Oh, not to put too much light into a scene, to make things more natural, yeah, to go with their lives. I'm also not that shooting, I'm not a big fan of shooting too much footage. My name is Axel Schneppat. I'm a cinematographer working in documentary and film. For the past 30 years, I've traveled around the world, connecting with people and capturing their life stories.
My name is Mark. I'm the host. Today I have some questions for Axel. Hey Axel, so you've worked as cinematographer and DP for more than 100 projects, including movies, documentaries, TV shows, and many others. You are best known for your work Shouts Get the Blues, Garage People, and The Cleaners. And in year 2000, you've won the German Camera Award for Havana Mi Amor. What a record. Let's dive into it.
Thank you. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Garage culture in Russia is a very interesting choice of topic. How did it start and why did you join the crew?
I already knew the director before. She started to work on this project. I met her for a different project years ago, and then I saw in the Facebook, I saw some information that she is on a research trip in the northern part of Russia.
Right.
And I saw these pictures and I said, wow, what is this? And I just gave her a call and said, what are you doing there? Do you need a cinematographer for that? And for her, it was her first film. And the producer was quite happy that he found a way to combine a cinematographer like me with a bit experience and also with a lot of own equipment. And so we found a way to join the project together.
I think that documentary really stands out because of the choice of the image. Very low saturation and very soft touch of the image. Can you tell the rationale behind it? Was that your choice or the director's choice?
It was a procedure. I mean, it took a while to discover a style for that film. We met before we traveled to Russia, and we looked for some films which interested us, because this is very often the case that you have to find a common style, that you bring something together, director's vision and maybe experience of a cinematographer. And for this, it's always good to study other works, like photography books or films, even fiction films, to find something which is maybe a common style for this special film. Yeah.
Sabes bien que yo te quiero, sabes bien que yo te adoro, sabes bien que ya no puedo vivir sin ti.
When you first arrived Cuba at the time, what hits you most?
When I came first there in '97, it was very strange because, like I said, I grew up in East Germany, in this country which was surrounded by a border. I was sitting in the airplane and landing in Havana, and I got the feeling that I'm coming home, because I'm now entering an island which is in a way also very difficult. You can live there very
It was blockaded, right?
It's like a blocked area, yeah.
Right.
And for me it was something like a flashback, that you come to a situation which I'm used to it. Yeah, that you have a poor economy, that people really have to suffer to run the daily life. And then when we entered the country and lived in this city for these 2 or 3 weeks where we shot the film, I experienced a very alive country. Very nice people, open, full with some energy, full with music. They danced on the street in the evening, and this was wonderful. And we found all these old buildings, which Havana is a fantastic city with these old Spanish buildings. And I said to my director, we have to make a big film here because this is such a positive energy and such a big cultural background in this area. We should do a film here.
When I look at the photos you posted on the website and many other documentaries you made, the subjects you filming always feel very comfortable in front of the camera. What's the secret behind it? How did you do it?
I was not changing a lot in front of my camera. I wanted to film the people how they are. This was always my biggest goal, yeah? Not to change too much, not to put too much light into a scene, to things more natural, yeah? To go with their lives. And I'm also not that shooting. I'm not a big fan of shooting too much footage. I always start to watch them before I bring out my camera, and this creates some trust. Yeah, if you start some preparation before, in a way like to communicate with the people, to also tell something about you, where you're coming from, what drives you, or if you have a family, or some small talks, and then suddenly you create a connection to the people. They feel safer, they feel there is a real person behind the camera. And if this is possible to spend some time with them, then you really open them, then they trust you, they trust the director more, and then they open their houses much easier for the film crews. Yeah.
I've noticed you've always choose to put people from other cultural backgrounds in front of the camera. Was that a choice, or it just happens naturally to you?
I think it's something which comes from my childhood, or from where I'm coming from. I grew up in a country which was quite limited with travelings. I grew up in GDR, in the eastern part of Germany. And when I grew up in the 70s and 80s, we had no big choice to move around, to discover the world. Yeah. And when I grew up and became an adult, and the wall came down in 1989. This was a time when I finished school, and I started with study, and of course I started to discover the world. I was starting to travel around Europe, and I got a lot of different influences. I went to Paris, to Ireland, to Spain, and countries which were not allowed before to travel. I got a lot of impact through this traveling, and I think this also influenced me in my a way how to choose projects and films. I'm also enjoying a lot to travel, to meet different personalities in different cultures, in different surroundings.
Why documentary?
Why?
It's a big question, I know.
I like this approach, to people, to also enjoy all these different lifestyles and different communities in these different films. And you learn so much while shooting, not only for your job, also for your life. If you go out to tell stories about the human being, and it's giving you a very full life back.
Why do you think we need documentary?
I think documentaries are a very important type of media which is reflecting our time, our society, our everything in a way. I mean, how we live, how we deal with some topics like environments, nature, with our kids, how we deal with our families. Yeah, how do we educate? Yeah, all these topics, they are observed in different documentaries. Yeah, you have so many different documentary each year, which you can see of these big festivals, which are specialized for documentaries, like ITWA in Amsterdam, or in Copenhagen, or Tel Aviv, or wherever you have this. Every year you have a documentary about political issues, about environmental issues, about education and society stuff. And this is very important to reflect our society, to understand how we work, how we do, and also what we can do better or what we can learn. And on the other hand, we are also preserving time. Yeah, it's also very interesting to see documentaries from the past, and you see how people communicated before. It's so important to have this footage. You know, it's so powerful. Yeah.
So at this moment in history, do you think documentary still matters, or it even matters more than before?
It's very important to do documentaries. We really have to understand where we come from, where we're going, and we have to reflect what's going on, and we have to spread the information, and documentaries are a good tool for that. It's super important.
631. Playback.
So after so many years of experience in this industry, do you still learning new things? Is there anything interesting happening right now that really makes you pay attention to?
Yeah, it's never ending. I mean, it's sometimes also a point where you say you really have to listen to the younger generation, what kind of different ideas they bring in, yeah? And it's always a nice challenge to spend some time to develop their ideas. You know, you cannot always say you have to do it like this or this or this. It's always a journey which you do together, and that's it's the beauty in this job, because then you can also figure out more details which are in your own signature, you know, in your own style. Yeah.
So Axel, how did you get your first camera?
Yeah, that's a nice question. When I went to school in the age of 7, I mean my first year of school, I got a present, like all kids get, and my grandmother was giving me a camera, a little Russian, very simple Russian camera, but this camera was sleeping for years somewhere in our apartment. But some years later, I think with 12 years, around 12, I discovered this camera. I said, oh, I have a camera, I have to learn to take pictures. But then my father taught me how to handle a camera, how to load the camera with a film, and then how to do all the settings, exposure, stop, and all this stuff, shutter speed. And we went out in our beautiful area there, and I started to make the first images.
So you've mentioned you love traveling and you also love taking photos for your families. So in your opinion, what's the difference taking documentaries and taking photos for your family?
There's a very common thing. You are capturing the time. Each picture you do from your child is a memory to this moment where you had a very nice time together, or where you experienced something which made the moment special. It's a journey, it's a birthday party, or it's a New Year's party, or Christmas. And so you capturing a very private timeline. Yeah. But sometimes I'm thinking about that, to combine it with my professional pictures, to make maybe a little portfolio out of it, to create a timeline where I combine my private memories to my journeys, which I did for my work. Because maybe there is something which is very interesting. But this is an upcoming project which I'm waiting for maybe in the next 10 years to realize. But it's honestly a topic which drives me from time to time. Yeah.
So you've spent lots of time filming other people. Do you think there's a time where or experience truly changed your view on life?
I think each project brings a little part of an exciting experience which changed you a bit. But of course, there are films where you really experience a lot. I did a film about dying, and I was with dying people for half a year. Yeah, I met like 12 people which died while filming, and this was it was a very strong impact for me. We made a film called Last Journey, and the Last Journey was about people which died. We went together with them through this process of dying. That means we witnessed how people said goodbye to their families and to their own life. And this was very, very challenging because you realized what is important and what is maybe not that important. And you also start to think about your professional life in a different way. I mean, how much time you spend with your family. Is there enough time that you share with your kids, or is there enough time for yourself? I mean, are you driven just to be on the road to do films, or is there a window for yourself? I mean, this film project, I remember, was very touching for me and very important. I was in my 30s, and yeah, this was a film which was very important for me as well. Yeah.
Now there's lots of AI-generated videos online, and honestly speaking, most of them are wacky, but some of them are okay. But I can see it's a trend happening right now. What do you think of this impact on the industry right now?
Honestly, I'm blocking that. I'm blocking this impact of AI, because I experience a lot of time analyzing historical footage, how difficult it is to understand media which is maybe 10, 20 or 30 years old, to understand from which perspective this material was shot and what does it mean. That's why I'm really afraid of creating some artificial material where you completely lose everything. You don't know the sources. You cannot really understand who shot this footage, in which reason. And this is a new mixture which I cannot really follow. I have it's like a blocking in myself. I like artificial intelligence for some elements in post-production. Yeah, if I have to replace something which came in my picture, like a boom or something like that, but that's the only thing I agree.
How do you feel about today's technology on camera and all these gears?
It's amazing, this long journey. If you see the first cameras 170 years ago with this wooden box and this big lens and a very strong tripod. But now I think for me, it's a dreamland where we're moving in. We have these lightweight cameras. You can shoot a film with an iPhone if you want, but if you want to make more creative picture style, then you can of course use these bigger cameras, and they are so amazing. They are so sensitive. You can shoot films very improvised in dark areas. You can shoot. You cannot shoot under the moonlight a longer scene, but you really can capture these moonlights.
Right.
And all the industry around the cameras, which are dealing with light, batteries, some shoulder support, and all this stuff is amazing. If you look to companies like SmallRig, you can buy very effective units where you can handle your light And this is very good, especially if you are traveling, yeah? With your documentary film equipment. You need tools where you know this tool will not break. It will survive a journey on a road, yeah? And you can deliver something far away from a network. You can go outside and just attach a battery and you can run for some film takes and getting some amazing footage, and that's incredible.
So if you could give one suggestion for today's image creators, what could it be?
If I could give some advices to the youngers which want to go into the picture business, I think it's important to find out if you are really ready to enter this business to make a living out of it. And this is quite difficult to find out because on one hand, there is no guarantee to survive. On the other hand, you have to try it out. You just have to check if it's working for you. And that's why I think it's always good to have some support from the elderlies, to find some people which are in the business where you can communicate, where you can get some tips, where you can get some advice, yeah, that you can learn from. How do you manage all these problems to be a freelancer? How can you organize your jobs? How can you update yourself? How are you dealing with equipment? How are you dealing with your budgets? How are you dealing with your income? And all these questions, you should do some little checkups with people around you, because this is very important. And don't put too much effort into gear. You can work with normal, simple gear. Even for that, because you can really start with small equipment and then you build it up in bigger equipment and in bigger devices. But don't invest too much. You cannot get automatically a job if you have good gear. It's more about your personality.
Name one quality that you think is most important for being a DP.
I think that's a very fast answer. You have to stay open. You have to stay open for new partners. They can come from everywhere, from all directions. They bring a lot of new influence, which can be very exciting. Yeah. It's sometimes very, very amazing how much energy a new director can bring into your own style. And if you are open, you can learn a lot from these new colleagues and you can combine it. And that's the most challenging thing for me in this profession.
Axel, as a cinematographer, what does on-site mean for you personally?
Each set where you enter, it's like a new playground. Where can I go with my addiction, taking pictures?
That's great. That's a fantastic job.
Yeah, I love it.